Manchester United made the quarter-finals of the Europa League in midweek. This evening they travelled to Leicester City, who've lost their last 5 Premier League games without scoring. Commentary from Martin Fisher.
I think we should be better defending our box, our half of the pitch, but we want always more. But after these 2 weeks with a lot of games, with travelling, I think they performed quite well.
I think the effort put in, the chances created, it's all there. Of course, dealing with both boxes is always the challenge, and it's the difference at this level. It showed again today. The efficiency was very high on United's side.
Obviously, it's been a tough period, but I've been working a lot with my game off the screen and also with my head a lot. So yeah, I feel like I'm improving slowly, but surely, and we could see it out there today with a goal.
And finally, you mentioned the away fans, terrific noise from them throughout. They've got a song about you, and I can't get that tune out of my head at the moment. I don't know if you've heard Bonnie Tyler, It's a Heartache, but that's the tune that they sing to your name.
Yeah, I cannot understand. I just want to win games, and for them to have these good moments that they deserve. But we are far from what they want for this club. So I don't carry away from that with that things. So we have a lot of things to do.
It is a great song, and we do have to say the Manchester United fans away from home, and you know this, they're absolutely fantastic. They did not stop singing today, did they?
No, they're incredible. Obviously, they've experienced it for many years, and I think they're the best.
Yeah, they're amazing. First of all, let's talk about Aidan Heaven, because so unfortunate. I mean, how composed did he look?
He looks great. Obviously, we've got a gentleman that knows about being a young man playing at this massive football club, but I think they've unearthed a little gem here, in my opinion. Natural left footer. They're so confident. Look, they're just showing there. They're building up from the back down his side. That's a testimony to him, but he's never phased. Look at this composure. Running out, knows he's under pressure, gets the foul, not worried about it at all. And he's just, again, that natural lefty. Defends as well. As you can see, Daka's not slow by any stretch, but look at this composure. Gets up. There you go. Let's go out and play. No rush, no panic. But I like this as well, Wayne. Just coming out here on his left-hand side. He's looking for something, not what he wants on. So what do you do? Normally you turn back and panic. No, goes past, still positive, driving forward, gets the foul for his team. And this is the best clip out of them all, in my opinion. For any young defender watching or any parent watching, look, he passes the ball, doesn't stand there and admires, gets back, like all defenders should, thinking, what if something goes bad? It happens to go bad in this situation, but look who's there. Great block there, gets up, block again, number 2, but look, no pumping fists, no screaming to the fans, just does his job. And unfortunately, in this situation, clears the ball well, and unfortunately leaves on a stretcher, but we have heard that he's walking out in a boot, which is great to hear. Only his first Premier League start. For me, he's going to have a massive future. Yeah, so comfortable on the ball. And Wayne, you know, any player who pulls on the Manchester United jersey is under pressure, but especially when you're a young player and you know all about that. Yeah, obviously it's a huge football club, and at this time now, when it's not maybe going right, to come in and play for Manchester United at 18, it's a lot of pressure, because them expectations are on you from the first minute. But I think in the games he's played, I think he's been fantastic. And I come in as 18-year-old at Manchester United, and you do feel that pressure. But to come in as a centre-back, which is obviously a position where you can't afford to make mistakes, otherwise you get punished, is very difficult. And he looks like he's been there for years. So that's the biggest compliment I can give him. And also with the club under so much scrutiny at the moment as well. So there's that added pressure as well, isn't there? Yeah, there is. And obviously he's coming from Arsenal as well. He knows what it's like to be at a big club, being at Arsenal. So I think that will have helped him. But he doesn't look like he's playing with pressure. He looks calm, he's composed, he gives them good balance. Obviously with his left foot, he looks quick. He looks like he likes defending. So I think he's a real coup for Manchester United. Yeah, and we wish him a speedy recovery, of course. Let's look at the other end of the pitch, and you were really impressed with United's finishing today. Yeah, I was. I thought the finishing was better today. I think I'm really pleased for Højlund in particular, because again, his movement's been really good over the last few weeks, and he just hasn't had that bit of luck. But I think the defender, of course, Faz can do better, but on his weak foot, he gets it, he's positive, he drives forward, he has a look to see if there's anyone in the box. He takes the option of shooting on his weak foot, and it's a fantastic finish. But I love this, the work rate from Garnacho, from Ugarte,
Just in general, I think this is the way Amorim wants his team to play, and they're putting the effort in to get back. And this is as big as scoring a goal. So I really like the work effort from Manchester United today. But again here, Højlund driving forward, gives it to Garnacho, cuts inside. Good finish. Unfortunately, it's just offside, but he goes again. They keep playing. Bruno again, who was at the heart of everything, gets the ball through to Garnacho and no thought about finishing. It's a first time. It's a really good finish. So again, for the two of them haven't scored for a long time, really pleased that they've got off the mark today. And then again here, this is fantastic.
Yeah, and then just obviously he pulls there. I just wanted to ask you, Wayne, how hard is it to stand still? Because most people in football run. You see here, Fernandes makes this. It's a great ball for Delat, but because he stands, I've seen you do this many a time. I just wanted to explain to myself and to everybody watching, just how hard is it just to stand there?
Well, obviously Bruno's scanning, so he sees Dalot obviously run down the right, and then what he's done, he's allowed the Leicester defenders to run back towards the goal, and then he just puts the brakes on. He slows himself right down. Gets himself in a whole lot of space. Dalot obviously cuts it back. It's a great cutback. And then Bruno, because he's slowed himself down, he can compose himself, and it's a first-time finish, and it's a fantastic finish. But I think with Bruno, I think again 2 assists today, another goal. He's the heart of everything Manchester United do. Obviously, we're seeing that week in, week out.
Look at this.
Stats here.
Well, at this point, I have to say, Troy, we are in the presence of greatness here, aren't we?
Oh, we know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've been fanboying all day, haven't we? Let's call it right. We're in my opinion, this is the greatest English player to ever play, in my opinion, and doesn't get the credit he deserves. But when you see the numbers like that, 93 assists for Man United, legend, and also it was quite a nice bloke as well, so it helps.
But I think what Bruno's doing here is, obviously, it's well documented the team have not been in the best form over the last few years, but Bruno is the one who's consistent with his performances, his goals, his assists. So I think that's really impressive to get to 50 already, 50 assists.
Also, Wayne, just in his interview, Ruben Amorim said, we want more. Have they got enough to win the Europa League, do you think?
Yeah, I think they have. I think they can take a lot of confidence, obviously, from going through on Thursday and today's win. Now they've got an international break. I'm sure for Ruben Amorim, he'll be hoping everyone comes back fit, because they have picked up a few injuries and they have got injuries, but it might be a chance for players who are injured to get back. But they've certainly got enough to win the Europa League.
I just want to talk about Leicester City. First team in top-flight history to lose 7 successive home games without scoring. Troy, this is grim.
It is grim, and I've been in relegation battles, and you look at those games: Wolves, Palace, Fulham, Brentford. You've got to score in those games. They're the games you think, right, we can get something. You can take losing to Man United, Arsenal and Man City, but to not score 7 losses, it's just they're letting in loads of goals. They're not scoring goals at the minute, whether it's Van Nistelrooy, whether it's the board, whether it's the whole team. But as a club, nothing seems to be going right. So they need to have a real look over these next couple of weeks, what they want to do moving forward, and get that recruitment right in the summer, because that's the biggest thing for me. Their recruitment has been all over the place.
Yep. OK. Thank you, lads. Right, next up, Fulham.
Oh, Dion, you desperately wanted him to smile in that. And he's got reason to smile, because an impressive performance on Thursday, and he finally got the goal that he and Manchester United desperately needed.
Yeah, he did. And it was always going to happen. He was always going to get it, because you don't work as hard as him and not get a little bit of luck sooner or later. But I think it's just the players around him haven't seen those runs or haven't really appreciated the amount of work that he does. But to get his goal, he took it incredibly well. The ball was brilliant. He had a long way to travel with the ball, get it under control. Now he's on his way. He's thinking, there he goes. He's turned his back. He knows exactly who's on the ball. And he's thinking, I'm going to get closed down. I'm going to get closed down. Nobody's closed me down. Let me just strike that ball across the defender. It was just poor defending.
Yeah, I mean, it's been Leicester City's issue kind of all season. Initially, Cody does great, wins it, goes into midfield, wins it again. OK, he's a little bit out of position. And then United do well. They keep it, they recycle it. You wait for the moment. Who do we get it to? Get it to Bruno. And Højlund knows this ball's going to go on behind. And I think United are better on the counter-attack. And that ball in behind's great. Højlund prefers that. Wout Vass got to get across. He's got to cut off the run. For some reason, he just decides to keep running back and not affect Højlund. Højlund thinks, right, thank you, and I'll finish. Great finish with his weaker right and brilliant form. I think this is where he's at his best, running forward. Yeah. He's still good. He's still working on his hold-up play, bringing others into play. But that's a great goal.
Is the onus now on the likes of Bruno Fernandes and the other players to play to Højlund's strengths? Now we're starting to see where he likes the ball, how he wants to play, and maybe make him run more and stretch defences, as Owen said.
Yeah, I think if you I think they know his strengths. They just haven't used him enough, because when they have used him, he hasn't finished off what they've sort of put on a plate for him. So sometimes when a player's not quite on it, a centre forward, and the chances aren't coming, then you kind of stop giving him those chances, because you try and find somebody else to do it. Now he's got his goal, his confidence will be up. Use him, force him to run in behind. Put it in there, then have a go at him that he's not doing it. That's what he'll need.
First goal in 3 months. What is that like as a striker when you go that far?
No idea. Don't know what you're talking about.
OK, maybe you didn't go to 3 months, but what's it like when you have a goal drought by whatever your own standards are?
It's very, very tough. What happens, you start to do things foreign to your game. You start coming deeper and deeper and deeper. When you get into the midfield players' areas and they're saying, get up front. And he hasn't done that. Fair play to him. He hasn't done that. He's stayed in that number 9 position and he's persevered. I'm really pleased he's got it. I think he'll nick himself another 3 or 4 before the end of the season.
First goal in 3 months for him, and also a first goal for Alejandro Garnacho tonight in 25 matches. He thought he'd scored. He did his trademark celebration. That one wasn't allowed, but he did get there in the end. And another really important player for Manchester United to be back on the score sheet.
Yeah, I really like him. He's still only 20. You know, he makes things happen. And to be fair, you think with all the bodies around him, there's no way he can score. But he's active. Look, he tries to get on the ball here. Gets it, tries a little trick. OK, he loses it. But you know what? He finds a little pocket of his face. Look at Bruno, check his shoulder. Knows where he is. Again, he's trying to play it in behind, so Mazraoui gets picked off. And he just toe pokes it straight to Garnacho. Look at all the bodies they got back there. And Ndidi probably right in front of him. And really, all he's got to do is just go squeeze into him. The one thing I would say to Garnacho, credit to him, hits it early. Knows exactly where the goal is. Doesn't have to look. And he smashes into net. And you see, look at all the players there, check the shoulder. They check it because they're trying to find where the defender is. If there isn't anybody there, Bruno does it, Garnacho does it. It's such an important skill. I think the keeper sees that late, Dion, but great finish.
I think sometimes when you're defending, with my defender's hat on, when you have so many players back, the responsibility is passed around, so nobody takes responsibility for that player, and that's what happened on that occasion. The second thing is, when the goal goes in, nobody's holding anybody to account. So they all go, oh dear, and that's it. You've got to point fingers. If it really hurts, you've got to point fingers.
I was a bit worried that because of the fact that Garnacho and Højlund were ending barren runs in front of goal, we weren't actually going to mention Bruno Fernandes getting the assist. But fortunately, Bruno did get on the score sheet at the end, so we can heap praise on him. What a week for the Manchester United captain.
He's class. I tell you what a goal, Kelly. Great football. Keep it. What a switch from Casemiro this is. Perfect first touch from Darlow, sets Mavridis, see you later, step over, and Bruno checks his shoulder, look, sits in that little pocket. That is a world-class goal, from front to back, Dion. This switch, this is why you switch, to get a 1v1. And Darlow does an amazing step over. But keep an eye on Bruno, watch him check his shoulder there. I'm going to sit in this little pocket. The way to pass again, Dion.
Yeah,
class.
It's the pass from Darlow. It's on the floor and it's on his right foot. All he's got to do is step onto it. That is a really difficult finish. Across your body, across the keeper, into the side netting. If anybody in a Man United shirt is going to do it, it's going to be him. The form he's in is incredible.
I also really enjoy what Rasmus Højlund said about him, where he said sometimes he maybe gets a bit of stick. The stick for Bruno Fernandes has been quite extreme at times, but are we starting to see, or not starting to see, more consistently are we seeing just how important and how good he is for United?
I think the problem is the fact his first season was so amazing and he produced such ridiculous numbers in terms of goals and assists. You know, and we kind of expected that from him. But I think if you look back over the past few years, he's the only constant. He's the only consistent player. I don't think it's fair that he gets criticism. He's the one that's fit and healthy every game and producing goals and assists virtually every game. So he shouldn't be criticised. The others should for not helping him in such a critical moment. But they're fortunate that he's there, Bruno Fernandes, because he's been brilliant.
Yeah, and I know lots of Manchester United fans as well who have said, where would they be without Bruno Fernandes in recent months and years? OK, then, let's now hear from Ruben Amorim.